All right, well, very good. After a short recess, we'll reconvene the budget-only meeting. We'll start off with approval of the minutes from January 5th, 2026. Can we have a motion?
Motion.
And a second?
Second.
Very good. Are there any questions, comments, changes to those minutes? If not, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Next item on our agenda is the approval of our 2026-2027 budget guidelines. Can we have a motion
Motion.
and a second?
Might want to
What?
do you not want to talk about them? Get it on the floor.
Well, I didn't know if we needed to get on the floor and then discuss it, or if we discussed it and then got it on the floor. I'm not sure which procedurally occurs there.
Theoretically, you're supposed to have them on the floor to discuss it, so
Okay. Ooh,
you're right.
So close.
is that on the record?
Yeah.
I know we have a motion. I think I heard a second. So, Mr. Carter, very good. Mayor Anderson, if you would,
So it's this time every year, we try to come out with the guidelines for all of the departments to see what the budget committee is looking for this coming year. In getting with Phoebe, of course, we go back into the budget and look at what kind of monies we're looking at. We know that there are a very large dollar amount of things coming down the pipe. Courthouse land, we were talking about that's one of them. Many other things that we know, school issues, there were several on here tonight. So with that in mind, there she is. I had asked Phoebe and Claire to both kind of fill us in on a little bit about the history, and I'll call upon Claire first on the HR side, because we made great strides on the pay of all of our county employees last year, and let her give an oversight. We asked her to reach out to our consultant and kind of fill us in on what he's saying as far as what we should do for guidelines, and then I'll shift over to Phoebe, let you kind of give the snapshot of where the county is for the first 6 months of this year. Claire, if you don't mind, we just direct the Jeff. Claire?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Chairman and County Commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. This is going into my third year now as the HR Director, and upon coming into this position, it became apparent that the county had only really focused on being at the 50th percentile of competitiveness in market. And so the mayor and the county commission was, I think, pretty forward-thinking by going for a 5%, and then at the mid-year doing a 2% for the last 2 years. And then last year, we definitely hit on trying to right-size some of the positions that had been left behind in this body-approved 75 percentile market focus. And so I think we've made tremendous strides, but the reality is that we still are chasing a very aggressive market. So not based on my opinion, but based on our consultants, the BTA Consulting, Steve Thompson, who's worked with this group with the 75th percentile, and then also previously, he is actively engaged in 10 competitive market studies right now for municipalities and counties in our area, our Middle Tennessee area, and also across the state. He feels, in his opinion, that you're seeing a cost of living adjustment being in an average of anywhere from a 3.5 to a 4.5%. And that's just a cost of living, which you also look at the national average. That's also, you're seeing some reports out there. So in order for us to stay competitive, which is what we push for with the 75th percentile, he feels, he gave us a range that we need to be focused on somewhere between a 7 and a 9%. And so, that's a pretty broad band, but the market is continuing to move. So if you go with just a cost of living, it is certain that you will fall below the 75th percentile. That's just a one and done. We've enjoyed it for a short period of time because the market is moving. And so that's the information that Steve's given. So it's up to this body to decide what's affordable. And I think with that would be in Phoebe's area, and I'll defer back to the mayor.
So thank you, Claire. So if I can do the Cliff Notes version, what we did was great last year. Going forward, a lot of competition in the marketplace, 7 to 9% to keep you where you are equal. I mean, I can tell you, we can't do 7 or 9 because we normally do 7 or 9 for the school system, and that'd blow their boat up about as much as ours. And so I turned to Phoebe and said, all right, tell us what a penny does. You all voted last year to go from 92 to 94%, so we don't have as much of the flexible money that's built into that. And so Phoebe, if you'll take us through that, where we are as of pretty much the 6-month mark.
Thank you, Mayor. So as of January 1, using those new appraised values that I have been given from the property assessor, we are looking at only maybe a little less than 0.5% growth, so in those numbers. So what I mean by that is our appraised values have only slightly gone up these last 6 months and compared to what they were when we first set the tax rate back in the end of June of last year. So therefore, not hitting that even 0.5% growth point, we're not looking at very much of extra income coming in from our current tax rate. Approximately $2.2 million, approximately. Now in spring, normally we do have properties go on. Obviously spring, you have more growth. Construction is complete. So we will have a little bit of an increase there from assessed value. But right now, I can't guarantee we're going to hit the 1% mark of growth between using our current tax rate that you passed in June of 2025. Our, again, sales tax, we usually take a look at that at the 6-month mark. So we're looking at sales tax, hotel, motel, wheel tax, are averaging about 4% growth. Again, that's not a whole lot for us to kind of gauge that excess of what we need for increasing that without dipping it back into our fund balance. So again, if my revenues aren't going up, then right now I do not have any other new sources of revenue. Right now I'm only looking at that portion to tap into. After that, I will have to pull from fund balance in order to balance out any adjustments. Do you want me to go ahead and go into what those?
No, well, I mean, the long and short of it is, Mr. Chairman, I've put together and put on your desk a 4% salary increase, not hitting the 7 or 9, going slightly 0.5 point above what Claire indicated from our consultant, do a 4%. Now, how do I get to that? Because I don't think there's any appetite to have a tax increase at all. And so the way that we would attempt to get to that, hoping that some of those numbers would come up between now and the closeout of our fiscal year, which will be the end of June, which normally it does, is to attack that problem by doing a 4% salary for our full-time and part-time. Our operating budget, I would give a direction that all departments would have to reduce their operational budget by 5%. And that all new positions would have to be done by a case-by-case basis. That it's not any of this automatic, somebody quit, you automatically hire them. You have to justify that every single time as you come in the door. So it's not an automatic. And any new positions would have to be heard by our HR committee, and normally that goes through our HR committee. I give my reference on it, give my comments on it, oftentimes reducing it. All capital expenditures would be a case-by-case basis, because in order for us to fund the pay raise, which I think is very, very important to our overall operation, that we continue, we don't lose those men and women in the different department, and we're able to hire where we need to hire, then capital expenditures would be held at a minimal too. And of course, our travel, we've got that pretty much under control. That has to be approved by either the elected person throughout our area. Now, by doing that, we can make these numbers work. But it is also going to require the county commission saying no to a lot of things coming down the pipe. And that has not always been done, but this year the budget is extremely tight. I can only recall in '07, '08, and '09. During my tenure, we've only had 1 year where we didn't have a pay raise, and that was during that period of time. And that year that we did it, we really, really cut hard. We cut capital, we cut operating budgets, and if you want, the side of me says, if you want the pay raise for the employees, then we've got to figure out a way to pay for it internally within all of our operations, elected, appointed, the whole gamut. So what you're looking at here, for the ones that aren't seeing this, is a 4% salary increase, all operational costs be cut by 5%. And they have to come before this body, do their processes. All new positions would be reviewed on a case-by-case basis, reviewed by the HR committee as well as our HR department. And capital expenditures, bare minimum, just, what we've got is what we've got, and we have to learn to say no. We're in that shape right now. And that's to protect what we've got, and all travel continue doing the same guidelines. If we need to cut them, we need to cut them. And I think that's everything that we put together, right, Phoebe?
Yes, nonprofits, sir, that would be.
Yeah, excuse me, nonprofits, leave them with 0 increase. Now, there are other ways we can tackle this issue. I can find other areas in which to tackle, but this probably is the least disruptive to get to where we need to be.
Members of the Budget Committee. Questions, comments?
Well, Commissioner Wells, Mr. Chairman, while they're thinking about their questions, I'll read some of these national economists out, and they're saying that the great hiring spree during COVID is over now, and now the reverse is companies are not replacing employees. They've found out that they can get by with fewer employees, and so there's this decreased pressure on wage growth. So I think inflation is still 3+%, so 4% is basically a cost of living raise. That's what I'm reading, is that maybe the larger corporations, for most of their staff, are doing that. There are still areas that are in high demand that would demand more of an increase, but overall, I think we can live with that, because with the growth that Phoebe's projecting there, we don't have as much cushion. And so I think we start out our budget process with this, and maybe we'll get more information as we go along between now and the June approval.
I failed to do one thing that I normally do, and Jason doesn't know I'm gonna call on you, so Jason, you'll need to go to the podium and pick it up so it'll hear you and see you, as tall as you are. But I think it's important that you hear from Jason about their financial side, and if you implemented this 4% salary increase, what effect would that have on schools, and could they pay for it?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the revenue side, we don't have any new information from the state, but we've been working on some preliminary budget plans that we're going to take to our board in February. The board won't actually vote on our budget till March, and hopefully by then we'll have some more detailed information from the state. But the short version is, we don't project we're going to have the revenue or the ability to cut expenses to do a 4% pay increase, just simply put. A couple of big ticket items related to that. On the revenue side, this year we included in our budget projected 94% receipts on property tax. That's about $8 million or so for us, and so we included in the current year's budget that, which means that those funds won't be available in fund balance for next year. So that's a $8 million or so less than we have traditionally had. Another piece related to that, The state has not released any information related to TISA about raw numbers and what the governor might propose in his budget. Related to that, we had the formula that we constantly talk about, the fiscal capacity indicator. We have separated ourselves a little bit further from the rest of the state related to that. So we anticipate that whatever the governor might do increase on the COLA for the TISA funding will be offset somewhat by that gap increasing with that formula, which we sometimes call the Robin Hood formula. So just to give you all a visual of that. On the ops side, about 15% of our total budget is operations, about 85% is people. So we do anticipate increases in both insurance and utilities. And so from a 5% perspective there, we've already gone through our process once. We can go back to the drawing board and look at that. But that would not fund us either, because that's probably, Rachel, you're going to kick me because I'm working off the top of my head. I'm going to ballpark that's probably about $4 million or so. 1%, if 5% of our ops budget, somewhere around there. 1% for our faculty and staff is 3.285 million. So make that about 13 million for 4%. We need some help is the short version.
So if I can jump in again, years ago, when the school, if the schools can't do it, normally they will come to us and ask for a penny or two. And there's no penny or two in this year's budget for us to do this. So for you commissioners, first time sitting on it, you can oftentimes move pennies around to help out, shift one from us over to them. And the penny is generating about 2.5. 2.7. So if there were dollars available or pennies available, you could help the schools out. We've done that, but there is none on our side. So in order for us on the county side to make this 4% pay raise, we've got to find the money within ourselves, Mr. Chairman. And then you've heard Jason say that's a little bit more difficult task for him.
And Mr. Mayor, I give you all the overview. Just Commissioner Webb mentioned one thing about tightening up on staffing. We do anticipate a reduction in our staffing as well. We reduced some last year. We did that right sizing when we have started our initial budget process. But even with that reduction, we're still in that same boat on that thumbnail I gave you.
I was gonna say very good, but this is not very good. This is where we are. Members of the committee, do you have any further questions with regard to the budget guidelines?
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason. With that, then I think we're ready to vote to approve the budget guidelines so we know what we have going forward.
Motion. We need a motion.
I think we're just ready to vote. All those in favor of approving the budget guidelines signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Betsy asked me about debris and what's going on. First of all, let me say to the sheriff, Connor, public safety, Michael Wallace with the ambulances. I'm always terrible to start naming people because I'll leave out somebody. The highway department, what a yeoman's job all of these have done all throughout our county over the last 7 to 9 days. A heck of a job getting those roads cleared off. Have you made a decision where you're having school tomorrow or not?
We are.
Okay. Since Carol's not there, I don't get a message. I appreciate the men and women in this county, and I know the sheriff can echo this over and over, you just have no earthly idea the amount of time that was put in to provide this safety and the continuing services. And all of us should be indebted to these blue-collar workers that are out there that got that job done. Betsy asked me, okay, what do we do about the debris now? The trees and the bushes and things out there. And I'm going to take a phrase from somebody that I respect dearly, said, we're not trying to have a lawn of the month in the March or February. So if the folks that are listening to this can just be patient with us, cut your trees and things up and leave them on your place, or bring them to the right of way. Once we get the roads repaired, once we can get help the power line situation, we don't work on that, but we clear the path for Middle Tennessee to get into those. The sheriff's people are kind of tired. Our public safety folks are kind of tired. A lot of 911, and I look at Christy and the hours, and she probably picked up a little gray hair over the last 9 days for getting all that done. Sleeping, and we have people sleeping in our facilities, at hotels. Andrea, that's what I'm saying. I get started naming this. I can't say thank you enough. The judicial commissioners having to deal with all the crime that goes on during this. For old people, we don't get out, but young people, they get out and get in trouble. And I just cannot tell you, except this, Betsy. Last Friday, through the efforts of MAC out at the landfill, we raised the 5-ton limit to 10 tons for the next 30 days. You can take that out as a resident. We will not charge you one thing. We've upped the ante, doubled it from 5 to 10 million tons.
10.
10, excuse me,
tons.
10 tons. But now, if you hire a contractor to come and haul your stuff away, we're gonna charge that contractor.
Not if I'm in the car with him.
Well, you didn't let me finish. If somebody's in that car with that contractor and show you live at XYZ in Williamson County, we'll honor that contractor to come in. We're even waiving that. That's $40 a ton, and we're losing, how much did you put the pencil to it? Was it
Approximately 3.2 million.
That's right, $3 million we're gonna have to give up because we're not able to charge the tonnage. I mean, that's just the reality of the way it works. For those that can't afford to hire a contractor, and for those that can't physically or don't have a pickup truck, you can put it to the edge of the road, and our highway boys, once they get rested a little bit, they'll come out and pick that up and load it up, and we're gonna have 3 different drop-off points for our highway boys to cut and store it so we can exponentially be able to get that out in a very, very fast way for our unincorporated area. Now, I'm not talking about cities. Cities have got different rules that they play by.
All right.
But the county will have a place at 3 different sites. Eddie and Mac have already identified those. We'll take our highway, then we can store it, let them rest a little, and we'll haul it back out. As far as the landfill though, Betsy, you got 30 days of where we've increased the tonnage that you can bring out there. We have also removed the bins from all of our convenience centers that house the trash, the trees, the branches. And you say, well, why, Mayor? Well, those people have gotten,
Overwhelmed.
they don't play by the rules. They leave stuff on the sides, on the bottoms, on the tops, and once the gate's locked, they're dropping them off there. So we're just saying, for 30 days, please, taxpayers, just take it out to the landfill, and you can help us out a great deal. Does that answer your question?
Almost. I've got a lot of older people who live in my district, in my area, And they want to know when the county will come pick up the debris. Or since FEMA's involved, they want to know when FEMA might come by. I have encouraged them to go take their debris to the landfill.
That's right.
And, well,
We
it's
don't
hard
know
to
that,
suppress the rumor mill. That's
we
all I'm
don't, we
saying.
don't know, Commissioner, if FEMA is
Yes,
gonna
sir.
reimburse us for debris. Connor, you had, or Jeff, heard any different on that in the last 24 hours?
That's right, we do not know yet.
We do not know.
It would still be highway department picking it up.
That's right.
Maybe reimbursed if I think FEMA will not come and pick it up themselves.
So if you will let your constituents know, if they can get it to the right of way, not in the road, but on the right of way, then our highway department in the unincorporated area will come by and get it.
Yes, sir. Could I, what if they want a timeline?
Well, I'm going back. We're working as fast as, we'll get to it just as soon as we can. I know Eddie and his crew, they're kind of working today, but they're not gonna be working all night. They have been doing all of that. And so they need a little rest. We'll get to it. It may be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it may be a month, but we're gonna get to it.
Yes, sir. I said,
I'd like to request we sell firewood to get some money.
Go on.
She said we should sell firewood.
Sell the firewood.
any,
Come get it. Cause
like the TV ward here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate that. And I definitely appreciate our highway department, our sheriff's department, our emergency management, and Milton Sea Electric. And may I give your name and number to get?
790-5700, I'm on the camera. And we'll tell them that I'm not making promises when we'll be out there, but
Yes,
we
sir.
will get out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr.
Unless the
Chairman.
sheriff's got some extra prisoners that won't work.
Not a bad idea.
Cut some wood, sell it.
Used to happen.
We get complaints about,
Oh, yeah.
folks out of incarceration to do that type of thing as well, though. Nobody wants those folks in their neighborhood either.
That's it. Sorry to take so much time.
No, not at all. It's very important and can't make promises on behalf of Mayor's office. I am willing to wager against anybody it'll be done faster than our neighbors to the north. So, we are lucky for the folks who are Davis County.
Thank you for clarification.
Yes, no, we are a county together. And I hope Brentwood's coming through. I know Nashville Electric has caused them some pain.
That's right.
Well, very good. Well, let's move through the resolutions. I know the state states tonight, some people may have left to hear that. So we will start with Resolution 2-26-2. Resolution of the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund up to $15 million and first draw of $12 million for the sports fields LED lighting upgrade.
Motion to get it on the floor for discussion.
Second. And a second for Commissioner Carden. Jason?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is one of the three potentially capital items that we're bringing to you. We've had this item on our 5-year capital plan for a number of years, and it includes a request for an intent to fund in the amount of $15 million with $12 million for the current fiscal year. We're trying to honor what you all talked about last year to make sure you know how we space these out. This would convert our high school ball fields from the old metal halide lights to LED. One of the reasons we're bringing it to you at this point is we've had some discussions with TVA, and we believe that we have the potential to get rebates somewhere between $1 and $1.1 million if we do it now. They haven't given us any deadlines on that, but it has the potential to be a little less expensive if we do it now rather than wait. To give you some numbers, that's 41 fields at our 9 high schools. That would include football, the football stadiums, baseball, softball, soccer, and tennis, although not every one of our facilities have those, so it varies a little bit from school to school.
Are there any questions from the committee? On
You know
those?
what?
Mr. What?
So we've already kind of deferred this a little bit. So what we've heard in this meeting so far, you don't think there's room to defer a little bit more?
I'll certainly honor anything the commission does. Of course, our board voted for this. Our budget has not yet come to our board. I'll just be as frank as possible. I'm more interested in getting our folks a cost of living pay raise. But this is a capital item, and so the funding for it may be different. So certainly want to honor that as well.
Mr. Chairman, it may be different, but I'm gonna have to vote against this because I'm all about getting these employees and this one, the next one, and the next one. I'll be hitting a lot of things, you know.
I would like one brief opportunity to speak to the other two when they come up, just because it's a phased project.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, that's
We'll
what,
get to those when we get to those resolutions, but I absolutely will let you.
This one's not a phase.
Correct.
This one.
so it's spend the 15 or?
No, yeah, for this one, it would be, we projected if we started this project, if it was funded, we'd spend about 12 million in this coming fiscal year to do it, with a potential 15, based on our timing of construction schedules. This one has the potential to be phased 2 years, but the bulk of it would be the front end, if we got funding for it this year.
Jason, I appreciate your honesty, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman. But honestly, I don't know how we can do this budget if we don't say no to a few of these things. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm inclined the same way. Are there any questions, further questions from me? Commissioner Hayes, did you have a question?
Yes, I can't exactly recall, but didn't we do some lighting with Schneider Electric in the last 2 years? And I can't recall when, sorry. I tried to find this. Is that the same thing? How is that?
Thank you for that. The schools have not done the lighting with Schneider Electric. I'm going to estimate 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Rachel, I may be wrong about that. We went through the, maybe longer than that. Longer than that, I've lost track. So it may have been even pre-COVID. We went through an analysis through the state for electrical projects that would fund themselves with the ROI on savings. And we actually used Train for that project. County government used Schneider for that, maybe 2 years after us.
It was county.
It's been 8 years ago. We're in year 8 of that. So,
It might have been a county project then and not school.
It probably was.
It was both, I believe. I mean, schools did it, we do it as well. We did ours through Schneider, y'all did y'all's.
That's right, yeah, we each had a bid process. Of course, we had about 50 facilities, and Train showed the capacity to do that.
That wasn't just lighting. That was
That's correct.
HVAC and.
You're correct, Commissioner. What we did was an engineering analysis of improvements that would give a return on investment based on utilities. And it included HVAC, some water improvements as well for that utility. The ball field lights were not included in that.
So what is the return on investment for the lighting? I'm just curious.
I will say, based on that analysis 8 years ago, based on how often those field lights are used, it did not have a 20-year return on investment. They would not pay for themselves over 20 years. So it did not make sense under that state project to do it. The savings would be replacing bulbs with bucket trucks, having better lighting, a little bit on the energy savings, but because they're not on all the time, it would take a while.
Thank you.
Yep.
I share your sentiments and deeply would like this thing to pay for itself in some way. But
Mr. Chair,
I'm afraid it does not. Yes.
can I ask another question? Is, in light of, again, going back to the budget guidelines, with what I heard from Jason, with Phoebe or Rachel, if we voted against this tonight with a recommendation and the commission voted against it, and money shows up, we've still got time to bring this back, you know, during this budget cycle, if things turned up. If we don't vote on it now, is it gone for years, Jason, or is it, how permanent is this? Try to give us what wiggle room we've got.
For our purposes, whenever we have the opportunity to replace with LED, we can do it. The window for TVA and the rebates, it's hard to predict because they will cycle through different rebates from time to time. What we know is at the moment, there's a rebate for LED. My experience tells me they come up from time to time, but of course you don't know the future with TVA. But
So that's an unknown as well.
That's an
as
unknown.
Me saying there may be more revenue coming in.
Oh, on the revenue side?
We don't know.
Yeah, for us, no, we don't know. I will tell you, based on our projections in our operations budget, we would not ever have the capacity to fund these field lights with our operations budget.
So it'd have to, but you split your operations from your capital budget.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Jason.
Any further questions from the committee? Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Nay. We'll mark that unanimously no. Next resolution, 2-26-3, resolution of the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund up to $6 million and first draw of $4 million for the renovation of Grassland Middle School. Have a motion to get on the floor.
Motion.
And second. Pardon, thank you. Jason? I told you I'd let you come back.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I probably shouldn't have left. Just real briefly, this is actually year 2 of our 3-year phase project to renovate Grassland Middle School, which is a 40-year-old building. Last year, you all funded $1 million towards that project. Rachel wrote up the intent to fund with a total amount over 3 years, and then the projected year 2 amount. The year 2 amount is $4 million for that 3-year project. Again, with $1 million that we've been working on this year to start that renovation project.
Jason, is there any slowing down the 4 to 6? What's the timeline on getting this done with the remaining?
Well, like everything else with our capital projects, if we don't have the funding, then we don't do the projects. We'll do some patching, probably some HVAC work. I'm sorry, Rachel, you want to speak to that? I'm gonna let Rachel speak to that on the.
The only thing, because portions were funded last year, the projects have gone as far as they can. So now we're on hold, and so that's why we're asking for the intent to funds now instead of later, so we can go ahead and get them bid so that work can continue. But right now, for both Grassland and Hillsborough, we're at a standstill until we can get the work.
So we started these projects.
Correct.
And can't continue them unless we continue funding.
That's right. And if we'd have to figure out a stopping point, some of the work was engineering drawings for some of that, so there could be some lost expense there.
So, Mr. Chair, again, this one and the Hillsborough, we're at the same situation. If we want to give all of our employees, including the school staff, a 4% cost of living raise, we're gonna have to make cuts, not only in operations, which you said, right sizing, but I know we put these off again, so is there anything in need, like, do we have a leaking roof or a failing HVAC system?
These particular projects are renovations to the old buildings. 40-year-old Grassland building, 45-year-old Hillsborough building. When you all funded a portion last year, our construction facilities folks had conversations with contractors about what they could do based on that amount of money. And it included the preliminary drawings plus some work. I don't know the details as I stand here about what could get done and what would not. So if you didn't fund it, I anticipate, just based on my experience, we'd have some loss of those funds because of the drawings, kind of like the discussion, an hour ago about older documents probably needing to be redone. So our ask is to evaluate what it might cost in funding those bonds, knowing that you have the potential to fund them over time, and consider funding these 2 projects because we're already in the middle of them.
In my mind, that makes a very big difference from a lighting standpoint.
Just, yeah, I mean, Grassland was 40-year-old building. Hillsborough is about the same, isn't it?
45.
45 on the other one. Are there any further questions from the committee to Jason and Rachel? Any questions from any of the other commissioners who are here? Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
We'll mark that 4 to 1. Resolution 2-26-4, resolution of the Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund up to $3,600,000 and a first draw of $1,800,000 for the renovation of Hillsborough K-8.
Motion.
Second.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Same story.
It's 5 years older.
It's 5 years older. The numbers were a little bit different, both in total projected expense and in how much you all funded last year. This particular project we projected a $6.6 million total. In Grassland, we projected at $7 million, largely because of the difference in size in the buildings. You all funded $3 million last year. This year, we're asking for 1.8 to continue that project.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, we're not 30 minutes deep in this, and we're already spending money. They can wait on these. I appreciate what Jeff's doing. We're gonna have to do the same thing over here. But if we want this funding, I realize it's capital, but we still have to pay for it. And whether it's this last one, this one, or the one before that, this is the message we're sending tonight. There may be exceptions, bring before the budget committee, and it needs to be the other way. If you're gonna get these pay raises, we've got to say no.
So I got another question, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry to ask so many questions.
I'm glad you have them. I'm trying to think of my questions.
So this is for Phoebe. Phoebe, knowing the balances of these two school projects, would we pay those out of the schools' capital funds, and are we gonna bond them? How are we gonna pay for this?
This would be added to our bond in November.
Okay, so both of these you're anticipating having to have a bond for?
Yes. These are not, these would not qualify for my education impact fee, since it's not necessarily due to growth, it's renovation. So the only choice I have at this point is to bond those funds.
The Grassland, not the.
You were on the prevailing side, you can.
No. I'm still processing, thank you.
Any other commissioners have questions from this committee?
Quick question.
Commissioner
What
Hayes.
is the age of Grassland versus Hillsborough?
Grassland's 40 years old and Hillsborough is 45.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I know everybody's still pondering, but I don't think we have any further questions. Is the committee ready to vote, or would you like more time to ponder?
Well, we do have another vote Monday night, so
Exactly.
maybe there's more information to be had by then. I'll cross our fingers.
Well, seeing no further questions, I think it is time to vote then. All those in favor of 2-26-4 signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
We'll mark that 4 in favor, 1 against.
And if I may, we have a committee that's going on concurrently, so I've got to step out.
Sorry to keep so long. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. 2-26-5, resolution accepting donations on behalf of the Williamson County General Sessions DUI Recovery Court and appropriating and amending the 2025-26 Williamson County General Sessions Court budget by $26,000, revenues to come from donations.
Motion.
Motion and a second. Fantastic.
Baby.
Baby, you want to talk about this one? This one's easy after what we've been through, so we'll take the
Yes,
money.
this is receiving a donation.
I'm sorry, thank you.
Oh, there she is.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you over there.
Okay, Danielle Gomez. I am the coordinator for DUI Court. $25,000 of this will come from our foundation, who always puts a annual golf tournament on, and then $1,000 comes from a community partner. These proceeds, donations help to go directly to our DUI court participants, such as therapy, any MAT, medication-assisted treatment, and then also small portion of it goes to program components. But another thing is that these are donations that we try to also keep to the side in case something crazy happens, like our wonderful termination of our grants 2 weeks ago that they rescinded on. But accepting these would really help pack our rainy fund day.
But that canceled.
The federal grants, same grant, but it's rescinded.
Rescinded it. About 2 days ago. Well, glad these funds are there. Any questions from the committee, Ms. Gomez? Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll mark that unanimous. Resolution 2-26-6, resolution appropriating and amending the 2025-26 county clerk's budget by $100,000 for additional postage. Revenues to come from unappropriated county general funds.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Jeff's here. Is this that money you charged me to mail me my tags?
Yes, sir. And so we have already used what was allocated in the budget for the postage, but just a quick, we recoup the money, but it doesn't go back to us, right? It goes down the hallway to general fund, and we're asking for that back. Anything that we don't spend will be returned to the general fund. But just to give an idea, from July 1st till January the 16th, we had renewed 78,000 online. Each one of those, we collect $3 automatically for postage. So we have definitely collected much more than the 97,000 we started with in our budget. So if you got any questions, be glad to answer them.
78,000 renewed online. That's good.
It's great. We had renewed total in the county at that point around 111,000, and 78,000 were done online, which is great because that keeps the lines down in our office. And the good thing about that, like I said, the postage is collected on the front end, so we know we get their postage money.
Any questions from the committee? Any questions from any commissioners? Very good. Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Thank you. Resolution 2-26-9, resolution authorizing the issuance, sale, and payment of county district refunding bonds of Williamson County, Tennessee, and providing for the levy of taxes for the payment of debt service on the bonds. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Baby, this looks like the fund refunding, save us some money, refi bond.
That is correct. That is our intent. So this is to refund some 2015, I think we had an A and a B portion. So this is, they're callable this year, and so we are wanting to go ahead and refund those. We are projecting our savings to be for this one and the next one that you will see a total of approximately $900,000 total, which could recoup about $100,000 a year for the next 9 years, combined with this resolution, this refunding, and the one after.
Okay, very good. And I see Sam Craze is here as well, if the committee has any questions for him, but I think Phoebe's given us accurate numbers here, so. Are there any questions from the committee on this? Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Resolution 2-26-10, resolution authorizing the issuance, sale, and repayment and payment of general obligation refunding bonds of Williamson County, Tennessee, and providing for the levy of taxes for the payment of debt service on the bonds.
Motion.
Second. Very good. We have a motion, a second. You said this is the companion piece?
Yes, this is the general obligation portion. The other portion was the county district portion.
Very good. The total is that $100,000. Any questions from the committee?
How much is savings in this one?
Combined, the two
Combined,
together would be
$900,000.
$900,000, yes, sir.
But we're saving on each of them in their own way. We wouldn't
Right.
just do one and not the other.
Correct. We have to do those together.
Very good. If there are no questions from the committee, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Resolution 2-26-11, resolution accepting a donation from Friends of Williamson County Animal Center and appropriating and amending the 2025-26 Animal Center budget by $17,000. Revenues to come from donations. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second. And a second, Commissioner Carden. Very good. You want to tell us about donations? Is that we are for veterinary services?
Come up here sooner, sorry about that. This is just a donation from Friends. As you know, they fund a lot of the extra things that we're able to do for the animals, and this is to pay for vet services for animals that come through the spay-neuter clinic.
Any questions from the committee? See none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. None opposed, and if you'll mark that Mayor Anderson is absent for the moment. Resolution 2-26-12, resolution declaring certain Williamson County owned property and equipment surplus property and authorizing the sale of the property and equipment at auction.
Motion.
Second. Very good. I don't know that I have the attachment A, but we are declaring property surplus. Do we have a list of what we're declaring surplus, or?
I do not have that. If Jamie didn't scan it and send it out in your packet, I don't have it. Additionally,
Okay. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, thank you.
you might, Jeff, you might go to the mic and just
Yeah.
summarize.
Various car, if you'll maybe give us a summary of that, and I'll pass that amongst the. I have little doubt that if y'all decided we don't need it, then we don't need it, so I can't imagine I'm going to say that we shouldn't sell it to somebody, but.
Yeah, it appears various vehicles, a couple trailers, it's like a bush hog, a couple gators.
Mr. Chairman, a lot of this, I don't know if a lot would be the correct word, but at least a portion, it looks like a substantial portion of this list is sheriff property, vehicles. Some of it are vehicles that have been scheduled for surplus, and others are seized vehicles that we're looking to recoup some revenue on that we're ready to get rid of.
Very good. Having looked at it and gotten those explanations, does the committee have any further questions?
Can't purchase, right?
The commissioners cannot purchase at auction. So.
What about the commissioner's daughter?
That's what you're leaving.
Immediate family and commissioners are excluded.
What?
Immediate family and commissioners.
So that's a no.
What about my son-in-law?
Maybe your cousin.
All
right.
Separate meeting later about how to disinherit family.
That's right.
That being said, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark that unanimous. Resolution 2-26-13, resolution to surplus and approve the conveyance of various law enforcement related equipment to Hickman County, Tennessee, and authorize the Williamson County mayor to execute all documentation needed to complete the conveyance.
Motion.
Second. Very good.
Yeah, and this is just, again, more equipment that we can no longer utilize, that we need to do something with. And Hickman County is willing to take anything and everything that we don't currently have a use for, so this is a good way to free up space for us.
And I see we had some discussion before, all this is being sold as is, no warranty, so there's no recourse against the county if Hickman County doesn't like it. So, are there any further questions from the committee? Seeing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll mark that unanimous. Resolution 2-26-14, resolution authorizing the Williamson County mayor to enter into a lease agreement with Boop Vets on behalf of the Williamson County Animal Center. I was told to watch how I pronounce that.
Really? Oh, okay, I got it. Never mind. Okay, so if I could tell you guys just one little story about how this came about. We would often get sent from local vet clinics or different ways. People would come to us, you know, my dog has a broken leg and I've been given a quote to fix the leg. I can't afford it. In the past, we would always accept that animal as a surrender, fix the animal, and then put it up for adoption, find it a new home. That's really difficult to do because you know the dog or cat is in a good home already. So we had written some grants to provide some very limited access to care for privately owned animals. Through that grant, I think we had one for $10,000, one for $15,000, so it was pretty limited in what we could do. But through that grant, an older gentleman came over to the animal center. He was in tears. He had a little chihuahua. He had been at one of our local vet clinics. They had found a mammary mass on this chihuahua. They sent him over to us because he couldn't afford on a fixed income even to do the biopsy. The biopsy was going to be beyond his reach. So he came to see if there was anything we could do. We put him through the grant program. We're able to do the biopsy on his chihuahua. Through tears, he ended up telling us that his wife had passed away last year in 2025, and this dog was literally his only company. So he very tearfully was so thankful that we had the ability to do that. And those stories happen all the time. That's just one really heart-touching story that happened in the last year. But as part of that, we saw this need in the community, but again, the grants we were receiving were very limited, and it's obviously not the taxpayers' responsibility to provide care to privately owned animals. So through my relationship with Michelle Preston, many of you know her, Dr. Preston, she opened Animalia, she sold that practice, and so many conversations with Dr. Preston, with Dr. Moser, who works contract for us sometimes, through a lot of conversations and working with our medical director, Dr. Birdwell, we kind of put our heads together on how could we be part of the conversation to meet this need for our citizens without it costing money to the taxpayers. And so we came up with the idea that we could share some of our space. They will pay a lease. We will be reimbursed for any of our white goods that are used. White goods are things like syringes, sutures, things like that. They will keep all their drugs and medical separate. They will order separately. They will have a separate DEA license that won't fall under us, so it'll all be on their expense. But they would simply be utilizing some space in our clinic that we can rearrange. And I was asking Dr. Birdwell today, I said, you know, if you get asked questions about how this works, she said, well, it's a matter of process efficiencies. And I can tell you that Dr. Birdwell loves processes, and she loves to make sure everything runs really efficiently. And I think they've already sort of figured out how they can kind of stay out of one another's way when both Boop Clinic and our clinic are operating at the same time. But I think it's going to be an amazing thing for our citizens. And in case someone is wondering, this will not be taking away business from our private vet clinics. These will be citizens who are either on a fixed income, have some sort of hardship income-wise and can't pay, or it will be like it was with this gentleman with the Chihuahua, a referral from a local vet. And many times, you know, people, elderly especially, are close to their vets. You know, they're often clients that have been seen by their vet clinics for years and years with many different animals. So when they present with something that the local vet isn't able to provide for them due to, you know, a cost constraint, they will send them over to us, and this gives us the opportunity to be able to help them.
Very good. Do we have any questions from the committee? Question for legal, we're just housing this lease. We wouldn't incur any sort of liability responsibility. Lease takes care of that, so. Okay. If there's no further questions from the committee, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Thank you. Resolution 2-26-15, a resolution establishing compensation for a part-time juvenile court magistrate position. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second, fantastic. Then share to tell us about part-time. Judge Guffey sent all of us, I think all of us, I received something, sort of detailing it, so I think I'm up to speed, but if you give us a quick explanation.
That's right. Thank you so much, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners. So this is a request that Juvenile Services has submitted to allow us to establish a position for a part-time magistrate. We're not asking for any dollars. Our part-time line item would cover the expenses of this position. But we are asking for the establishment of the position so that we can post for it.
Are there any questions from the committee? Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous.
Thank you.
Resolution 2-26-16, a resolution authorizing Williamson County to change investment companies for Williamson County's Length of Service Awards program that is administered by the Volunteer Firemen's Insurance Service.
Motion.
Motion. Second, Commissioner Carton. Maybe is this you to present?
Thank you,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, this is an annuity trust fund transfer from the incumbent Hartford to that of National Life due to interest rate changes. Hartford's offering 3. We can get 4.25 with National Life.
So we get a better return for our volunteer
Correct.
firefighters.
It's still being managed by the existing company, so no change in management.
Very good. Are there any questions from the committee about this? Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'll mark that one unanimous. Thank you. Resolution 2-26-17, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a license agreement with Beeman Toyota to grant naming rights concerning the county's Nevco LED aquatic video / timing board.
Motion.
Second. Gordon. Is this the board we just got the money for last month?
Mr. Chairman, you are correct. When we received the money and you approved accepting the donation, we didn't receive the money, they donated to the board. When they gave us all the specs on the board, when we took a look at it, the board was designed with 2 names on the bottom of it, Excel Swim Club and Beeman Toyota, who was the entity that gave us the $138,000. Because their name is on it, we need to enter into a licensing agreement with them so that they can just put their name on there. So that's what this is about.
Very good. Are there any questions from the committee? Commissioner Hayes.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, the legal, is there a reason we would have a lifetime lease and not have some every 5 or 10 years? I mean, I know they paid for it, but it just seems like in today's day and age.
We've got limitations on length of leases and licensing agreements under both the statutes and the age opinions, so.
I mean, but the agreement says a lifetime.
I didn't look at this specifically, so that would be one Bobby Cook would have looked at.
He did. He sent it to me when I asked.
Yeah, so what that means is just the lifetime of the board, which is 10 years.
Okay.
So as long as the board is functioning properly and on the wall, it's fine. Once it becomes obsolete, then it ends.
I will say from experience that chlorinated pool water is hard on everything, especially electronics.
Humidity.
Yeah, 10 years is being optimistic.
It's horrible, but I'm of the HR mindset. It's like, what if something crazy happens and they ruin their reputation? We're stuck with that on the board for a long time. But if it's only 10 years, it is what it is.
Well, it's just the life of the board. Once
Right.
again, that could be 10 years, it could be less.
20. Okay. Oh, okay.
I doubt it will last longer than 10.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
Any further questions from the committee or any commissioners? Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I mark that unanimous. Resolution 2-26-18, resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to grant an easement to Middle Tennessee Electric for the provision of electric services for the expansion of Columbia Avenue.
Motion.
Second. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. Are there any questions from the committee? Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I want that unanimous. Resolution 2-26-21, resolution authorizing Williamson County to acquire a rescue tactical armored vehicle conditioned on using the equipment for a public purpose and in accordance with applicable law.
Motion.
Second.
I'll defer to Connor here. Is he going to leave? All we're doing is cleaning up the particulars as it relates to the kind of vehicle, I think. Is that right?
It's a name change. It's from everything we did before.
Got to come to the podium.
Come on down.
This is the same resolution that we passed last year to accept it to the county. The grant, my HSA grant, and the other funds from the sheriff's office to receive it. Everything was geared toward a Lenco Bearcat. The time frame and the time to build the vehicle didn't fit the time we had, so we changed it to a different brand of vehicle. But it's the same thing. It's just a language change on the resolution.
And I am interested, approvingly so. Connor, is there some use your department can have for this?
This vehicle is built very intentionally for law enforcement operations.
Okay.
For sure.
Because you were asked about how it was going, that's why. Could you use it?
I'm sorry, I'd asked that.
Could public safety, can your office use this as well?
This would be,
Or is this just a sheriff's thing?
it's purpose built for the sheriff's office, but if there were a mission where it could support us, I'm sure, just like they've done many times with other things. They
I
would.
just heard the sheriff asking if you were gonna chime in on it, so I
Yeah.
didn't know if it had an expanded purpose.
We manage the Homeland Security grants, so that's why he
That's
turned
why.
to me.
That makes sense.
It's law enforcement, but it's usable for the whole county plus the District 5, which is
Right.
Rutherford, other counties also.
Are there any questions from the committee about this? See, yes.
Is this surplus federal property? Or I heard grant, I'm not sure.
It's
I
not surplus.
understand.
This is new equipment, right, Connor?
That's right, yeah, this would be brand new, and it's funded by Homeland Security funding, but it would be Williamson County property.
Thank you.
But it would be available to everyone in the district outside of Williamson County, and everyone in this Homeland Security district.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is our Homeland Security district. I'm not gonna know it off the top of my head, but it's several counties surrounding us in Middle Tennessee.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Sturgis.
Yeah, I mean, are we paying nothing for this?
No, we will have a cost, a percentage of that. Do you recollect what
It's
that
roughly
was?
$25,000 to $30,000 that we'll have to come up with.
Best of my recollection, that was right.
And why do we need it?
Well, the question is, when you need it, you need it.
For what?
And, well, it could be a life-saving rescue. It could be a barricaded suspect. It could be, sky's the limit. I mean,
In my
Connor,
mind,
do
it
you wanna-
sounds like a tank.
it's a armored vehicle. Yeah.
So
Do we have any already?
Yes.
Do we have any?
Yes, we do. But-
And how have we used them?
Who's it hidden?
Through the LESO program several years ago, we acquired a Bearcat,
Pickup debris.
a big armored vehicle that,
We call it a BAV.
that we actually got rid of because of the usage and the prior administration not wanting to have it. We do have 2 armored Hummers, which limit to like 3 people per car that we can get rescues in. But this is for high water, this is for officer rescue, riot, civil unrest, anything that we need armor for to go in and rescue people out.
If we had to go into the kill zone,
Yes,
this is a way to
active shooter
protect,
response.
this is a way to protect the deputies to get close to the target.
And I'm just,
And
Curious.
have we used it? No, but
Okay.
I hope we never have to.
Okay, all right, you
So
answered.
it's
Yeah.
Williamson County property, but it's open to the district, the Homeland Security District, multiple counties. Somebody can come and go, hey, we need your help. And we go, "Whoop." Okay.
They have a right
Yes,
to it.
the,
So if Davidson County needs it because they have riots or something?
Davidson County has the same thing that we're asking for, that we're getting. If they ever have a need for an extra vehicle, we are on call for that too also. But we have to man it.
Are we on call for theirs?
Yes. Yes. Rutherford County,
Do we hand them the
Davidson,
keys or do our officers get it?
we have it. We have to man it as we go out of the county,
I don't know if I like that.
just to get it there.
Oh, okay. And then you drop the keys.
Yes.
Throw it and run?
Yes.
Okay. I don't like, our people being
No, no, no,
in their
no.
mix.
and as part of the regional grant program, which includes Davidson County, Rutherford, Wilson, again, I can't remember the lot, I think it's 7 counties. The way that the body has dealt with this grant program is that they've rotated which county gets one of these vehicles. So early on in the Homeland Security grant process, the region said, we want these vehicles in our region, but they're expensive enough to the point where they said, well, we will take turns buying them for counties. So other counties have had their turn and have these same vehicles, and the idea of sharing them, and it's now Williamson County's turn to purchase a vehicle.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the committee on this? All right, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Resolution 2-26-22, a resolution authorizing the Williamson County Board of Commissioners to initiate a request for proposals, RFP, and retain an independent consulting firm to advise the county commission regarding potential transactions involving Williamson Health.
Motion to get it on the floor for discussion.
Second. A motion and a second.
Question.
Yes.
Could I ask legal, in his best opinion, is this similar to the one we tabled last month?
Yes, it's substantially similar to the motion, or the resolution that was tabled.
So
It
what
would
did Robert's
require-
rules say that?
It would require the resolution that was tabled being taken off the table in order to hear this resolution.
This one is different.
It's substantially the same. It has the same elements.
Well, define substantial then. Like, truly.
Every one of the requirements in this, now therefore be it resolved, all of these 5 requirements were included in the prior resolution.
And they've changed. They're not as harsh and as stringent as they were before.
In my opinion, it's substantially the same.
Okay, well, that's your opinion.
Robert's rule states, no other motion on the same subject is in order that would either conflict with or present substantially the same question as the motion that is lying on the table. To consider another motion on the same subject, it's necessary first to take the question from the table and then propose any substitute.
So can we discuss this at least? Because I think it's good discussion to at least have.
You're not precluded from discussing it, but in order to vote on it at the commission, it's my opinion that it would have to be removed from the table.
That the table would have to be removed and replaced with this one.
Yes.
Hold on one second, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah. And it is here before us, and again, I believe council's opinion is that at the committee, at the full meeting of the body is where you run into, this motion runs into, or resolution runs into problems as far as what's been tabled. It does not prohibit us from hearing it here.
So part of the reason I took it on is I felt it could be revised to be more amenable to those of our 4 members of the commission that are on the board of the hospital. I think they can appreciate, as well as I would appreciate if I was them, saying, look, they should not serve on the RFP committee because it helps them from being viewed by all constituents in the county as in a conflict. We have 20 other commissioners. I think that's more than fair to say. They can be restricted from being on the committee, but they are allowed, I think they have every right to vote as the overall recommendation. I don't see a problem with that
at all, and I think that's reasonable. But as far as looking at the consultants, and from my understanding, there's limited consultants available in the area, unless we're gonna ship them in from out of state, which I'm pretty sure none of us wanna do, but I do think it's important that we have representation in this financial transaction and from a strategic standpoint. I mean, clearly the hospital felt it was important enough for them to have somebody with this expertise. Why wouldn't the commission? So that's why I felt it was important to pull it forward, but also make it more amenable where it's not like, we don't want you involved. I don't think that's necessary to be that harsh. I think we could, that's why I tried to kind of relax it a little. But I do still feel very strongly that we need professional consulting on this. I mean, I've worked in hospitals from an HR perspective and an operations perspective. I wouldn't even begin to think I have the expertise to go, oh yes, this is a good plan. So I do think it's important for us as a commission representing our county to have some consultation professionally. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory if you've read it, unless anybody has specific questions. Is it markedly, hugely different? No, but it's worded, I think, in a more amenable manner.
I certainly will agree that the tone is better than the one that was tabled. My recollection and my opinion on agreeing to table that motion was not necessarily based on the tone, but was on the concerns or questions that we had as to whether or not we have an existing body in place that might be able to perform these services. I mean, I don't know that it necessarily does any harm to do so, but I think all of these questions and concerns are addressed to the body as reasons to remove from the table because these questions still exist. There's a reason to do so. I mean, I think that's the procedural thing there. We can hear it here, but
I think from the perspective that a lot of commissioners feel like they were not part of selecting our outside counsel. Let's just be honest, that doesn't sit well with a lot of us, that it was chosen for us. So to have an ability to hire a professional consulting firm that does this rather than going through our law firm who will probably contract with somebody like this and upcharge us for it. I just think it's in our best interest to say, hey, let's go the extra step, hire a consulting firm, and let's just have everyone being involved instead of it being constantly, oh, we found someone here, swallow it, vote yes. I mean, it's just hard when it constantly seems like commissioners as a whole are not given a say. And it just looks really bad. And I'm sure we've all seen the emails from our constituents, and I'm getting more and more calls, not just emails. I just think it's in our best interest to have a separate consulting firm, and I think it will probably be cheaper for us to go through them rather than through our current counsel. So, and I'm happy to get numbers if need be, what that would look like.
Again, I think all those things go to what's on the table. But for purposes of this committee, we certainly can hear it today and can vote on recommendation.
What would it take to take it off the table?
Yeah, what would it take to take the other one off the table?
Does somebody have to make a motion Monday night?
You would have to have someone that made a motion and a majority vote to remove it from the table. That's all it takes.
One of the commissioners can make a motion, or is there qualifications on who can make that motion?
No, a motion to reconsider requires somebody on the prevailing side. A motion to remove it from the table does not. Any commissioner can make that motion. But a majority of the commission would have to vote to remove it from the table, at which point you could then have a motion to substitute this resolution or to amend the prior resolution to match this one.
When would that happen on Monday? If it were to happen, when would that happen on Monday night?
It would have to be done before resolution 22 could be heard.
So when we get to 22, that's when somebody would make a motion to.
They would have to make a motion to remove the prior resolution from the table in order to hear 22. That would be the appropriate time in my estimation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Anybody have any questions? Concerns?
I think your whereas as to 5 commissioners simultaneously serving is incorrect. Currently.
Oh, did I mean 4? Okay.
That's just currently, and it's a whereas.
Easy amendment.
I'm not too worried about it, but you asked for comments. There you go.
Thank you.
So, I told Commissioner Richards, I don't think it's a horrible idea. I appreciate you toning down some of the.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the
So
day,
how
it's
it's
to serve
happening.
our people. I mean, really, it's to serve our people, and they're pretty serious about it. I don't know if you're getting calls, but I do what I can.
Are there any further questions from the committee? Seeing none, then I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
No.
Mark that 1-4, 4 against. Resolution 2-26-23, resolution authorizing the county mayor to execute a contract between the state of Tennessee Department of Transportation and Williamson County for a trash collecting grant for fiscal year 2025-26.
Motion.
Second. Second. All right, looks like we're just getting a grant here.
This is our
Yeah,
annual.
I'm told that for the current fiscal year that we're currently in, that we just received the paperwork from the state. So, is that right? That's what Jennifer told me. Yeah.
Yeah, that is great. It's just a shame.
Yeah.
7 months deep.
Yeah, so I mean, we're in, the 7th month of the fiscal year, and we just now received this.
Better late than never. Are there any further questions about this? Seeing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mark that one unanimous. Late file resolution 2-26-24, resolution appropriating and amending 2025-2026 library budget by $85,276.16. Revenues to come from donations and contributions.
Motion.
Motion to second.
They don't want to talk.
Everybody else got to talk.
We're librarians, we're supposed to be quiet.
That doesn't really hold up, I don't think.
Tell everyone else to be quiet.
Exactly. So this is made up of a few different things, one of which is our third quarterly contribution from the city of Franklin, our annual donation from the Friends of the Library, and just huge thanks to them for that. And then finally, some miscellaneous donations from various members of the public to purchase memorial items. So,
Much appreciation to those donations. Are there any questions from the committee? Seeing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll mark that unanimous. Late filed resolution 2-26-25, resolution authorizing the county mayor to enter into the 2025-2027 contractual agreement with the state of Tennessee for educational policy and increasing the 2025-2026 health department budget by $25,000.
Motion.
Second. Is that caption correct? Is it a 2-year grant, but approved 25-year? Okay, very good.
Right. Thank you, Commissioners, for hearing this. So a few years ago, the Tennessee Department of Health actually adopted a policy to provide state employees with tuition assistance if those employees were actually pursuing degrees, for example, in public health and nursing, medical, and so forth. The state also came back to the counties and said, hey, since you have county employees or our employees on contract, if the county develops a similar policy, they would issue us a cost reimbursement contract to be able to assist our employees. So we did work with HR, with the county attorneys and so forth to come up with a policy. And I took this to Public Health Committee back in, I believe, August. We just got the contract on Friday, so my apologies for it being late filed. I do have one employee who's actually been accepted to a PhD program in public health, and she is pursuing that degree right now. The good news is that there are stipulations to when that person can get the financial tuition assistance. That employee must require no less than a B in the class. This is only going to be for health department employees, not other county employees, because of the reimbursement from the state of Tennessee Department of Health. And once that person does complete this program and graduates, she is obligated to serve at least 1 year with the county. So this is a cost reimbursement contract for her tuition assistance.
Fantastic. Any questions from the committee about this? Seeing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? I'll mark that unanimous. Is there any other business for this committee? Hearing none, then I think we are ready to adjourn.